This video is for you if you're looking to create more abundance in your life. And it could be abundance in many different ways. It could be money, which is obviously a big form of energy. It could be love. It could be friendship. It could be just time, right? Having more time for yourself, abundance of time, right? That's yours. So stick around if you're interested. And welcome to this channel if you're new. If you've been here for a little bit, then welcome back. I'm so happy to see you again. My name is Marie, and I will take you on this journey of abundance right now. So I started taking this really interesting class about creating abundance in your life, and I thought I really wanted to share that with you guys as soon as I could. So this is kind of the skeleton for the abundance, and then as I dive into it more for myself, I will make sure to share with you as much as I can all the time, right? So the first key to creating abundance in your life is to really love your life the way it is right now. So I know that sounds hard. Like if you're in a position where you really don't love your life, let's say, you don't have enough money, you're not in that perfect relationship, all those things, like we have all these reasons for not loving our lives, the way that we feel like it could be better, let's say. I will put it mildly and say we feel like it could be better. But figure out small ways to love your life the way it is now. Because the way it works is if you start to infuse your own life with that love, then that great life is attracted to you. Otherwise, you're just constantly chasing that life. Instead, you're sort of pushing it away by saying, oh, I want that life, right? And as I spoke in another video, then the universe says, yes, you have an energy of want, but you're not telling me that you are vibrationally aligned with that life. You're not telling me that you love your life as it is right now. So start by really infusing a lot of love into your life right now. And if that's hard, then start with gratitude, as I also mentioned the other day, like bringing the sensation of gratitude into your life, and then just insert a sliver of love in there if you can, right? Just start to like really every day, use, which will bring me to my next point, mantras, right? And the next point is like using mantras. So when you say, I hate my life, that's a mantra. When you say, I hate my job, that's a mantra. And then that keeps on repeating in your life. If you instead twist that around and say, I'm really thankful for my life. Let's say start there, right? I'm really thankful. And then you can start to say, everything that happens is happening for me. And you can say, I am abundant. Even if you don't feel it right now. It's really this fake it until you make it type of situation that we're creating here, because your mind doesn't know the difference between something that's actually happening in your life and something that you're inducing by your thoughts and your emotions that you're choosing. So what we're trying to teach ourselves here is to be the commander, to be the master of our own insides. Because if you start to look at the world, we try to control other situations, we try to control other people, we try to control our boss, our job, right, to be better so that we like it more. But it actually works the other way around. So the only thing that you can control are your thoughts and your emotions. So you start by controlling them with mantras, because you've been so programmed throughout your whole life to say, it's hard to make money. To get a good job is almost impossible. People that are my boss are not good people, right? We have all these programs in our minds, and we need to reprogram ourselves. So that's what mantras are good for. So we reprogram ourselves with mantras that are really, really helpful for us. We can even make little post-it notes that says, today is a great day. Or I can't wait to see what the world will bring me today, right? So we're really kind of focusing on pushing those new programs into our mind. Like you can think of your mind as a computer, and you're now inserting new software. So in order to override those old programs that you have, you need like a lot of consistency in that. So as soon as you feel a negative thought coming up, mantra, right? Like, I don't know how to pay my bill. Then you change that to miracles can happen. I don't even have to know how to pay my bill. I believe in miracles and I believe in magic, and that's my new life. Right? So I know this sounds counterproductive. It's like, yeah, but who's going to pay my bill then, right? But you have to insert yourself with all those emotions now so that you can start to reprogram. The third thing you want to really think about is meditation. So there's all these, like if you go on YouTube and you put in meditation for abundance, there's all these meditations that are going to pop up. And I'll probably make one myself too that you can check out later, where you continually listen to these meditations. And you can do it while you're driving your car. You could do it before you go to bed. Actually, before you go to bed is an excellent time, because then you're kind of, you're starting to fall asleep and you're starting to release, the ego is starting to drift away, which means that you can reprogram your mind without the ego saying, oh, this is stupid, like, oh, I can't, this is not going to work. It just sort of comes into your subconscious without you being there to protect against it, so to speak, with your ego personality. So listen to meditations and listen to them a lot. Like as soon as you start to feel this anxious nervousness, like how do I, your old programming is kicking in saying, how do I solve this? How do I do this? Start listening to meditation. So you really want to kind of mantra and meditation your way, into this. And then focus on what you want. So you can create a little diary where you start to write down what it is that you do want. And you don't write it down as if it's going to happen in the future. You write it down as if it's now. So you say, let's say you write a letter from your future self, where you are now that you've reprogrammed yourself. And 3 years later, this is where you are, right? So you can say, I woke up in my house, the ocean is right outside, I had my cup of coffee, and I'm just waiting to get on, my yoga channel, let's say, that I created. And, I met all these new people, they're coming over later. Like you write it as if you're already in that reality. And you also sit down and you visualize it. So you close your eyes and you see that house. You see, let's say I'm just picked an ocean, right? So you say, okay, I have that ocean in front of me. You start to visualize what it looks like. You start to visualize what it looks like when friends come over later, when you're going to do your meditation class that you created, or whatever it is. I mean, I'm just making things up now, but you write down, and in detail too, and start to kind of smell what it smells like, see what it looks like, and you write it as if it's in the present moment. So this is key. Now that you're reprogramming yourself, everything happens now, because everything is happening now. There is this sort of timeline that we're in is partly an illusion and partly real. It's like a type of situation. Like we're in a timeline, but we're also in the now. So in the now is where you change yourself. You don't change yourself yesterday, and you don't change yourself tomorrow. You change yourself now. Because if you think about it, nothing ever happened yesterday or now. Everything happens now, right? So you mantra, you visualize, and you can also look up mantras. So if you can't come up with them yourself, you kind of can look them up and, start to print them out and keep them in your bathroom, keep them on your refrigerator, wherever you need to see them every day. Because we all have those days where we're like, okay, this is not going to work. Like I've done this for 3 days now. Nothing has changed. I'm still in my job, right? You got to give yourself time. You have to remember you have a lifetime of programming that you have to override. You have all these people around you that are still believing in the old programming. So if you want to change your abundance mindset, then you need to really work hard on it. And you need to work on it for a couple of weeks, months, maybe even, before you start to see that shift in yourself where you have all this positive energy. And you can even visualize that person. How that person is. That person is light and happy, and people want to be around that person. They're like, oh my God, what happened to her? What happened to him? Why is he always so happy? He seems like he has no care in the world, and all these opportunities are coming around. And look at all this. He bought that new house. Like, how did that happen? Right? So visualize yourself being that person with all that abundance in your life, abundance of friendship, abundance of love, abundance of money, abundance of whatever it is that you want to attract in your life. So those are the key tips that I want to give you right now. And start doing it, start practicing, don't give up. Because when you give up, that kind of voice comes in again and says, oh no, this is not, you got to go back to whatever you're doing. You're looking for freedom, right? You're looking for freedom from mostly actually yourself. I was going to say the system, but it's actually yourself. It's your own mind. Now is the time to take control of your own mind. Be the master of your domain, right? Nobody can tell you what you're going to think, how you're going to feel. You are telling yourself what you're going to think and how you're going to feel. because that's what matters, that you're in charge of what you want to experience, how you're going to react to what happens. It's not to say that if you start to create all this abundance mindset for you, that nothing bad is ever going to happen, quote unquote, but you can respond in an abundant way. You can say, okay, so like the example I used yesterday about my car, right? It's like, okay, so I've spent all this money on fixing my car, and I could be upset about that, but I could also say, how wonderful that I had that to be able to pay for the car. How wonderful that I could support that local dealership to do service on my car, for example, right? So you can kind of look at it the other way and say, wow, I had that. I was able to do that. And when you pay bills, you could be like, wow, look at all the abundance I have. I have the ability to pay my electricity bill, and so on and so forth. When, friends do something to you that you're not happy with, you can say, well, I'm so glad this person showed me an aspect that I needed to look at within myself. Because truly nothing happens without ourselves. Everything is happening in here. You have the universe in you, remember? So work on your mindset. Know that it's going to take some time, but go in there and just kind of do it. Listen to meditation every single day. Do your mantras every single day. Watch your world transform with your new mindset, because your old mindset has created the world that you live in now, and your new mindset is going to create your new world, and you're going to love it because you already love it, right? Lots of love. Namaste.